Ecclesiasticus 25 verse 19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. All right, shalom, shalom. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakal Kodash, as well as a double honors upon to the apostles and elders of GMS, Great Millstone, whom I've learned this truth under. This video being titled, Eve is an embarrassment. And when we say Eve, we talking about all the women of the tribes, not just the so-called black women. The tribes of Israel be so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And this little, disclaimer, there's a lot more important things going on in the world than a Twitter beef between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. But you read the tweets with these women, these were mothers, no less. Cardi B currently pregnant with her 4th child. Okay, and Nicki Minaj is a mother of one. You read the tweets that these women were, the level of poison they were spitting at each other for the whole world to see is completely fucking embarrassing, man. This is shows you our people are, this man Esau has thoroughly destroyed our people. If the women behave like this, imagine how much more the men, because when men get this disrespectful and out of pocket, you already know the sword getting drawn. Some bullets is gonna fly from this level of out of pocket disrespect. Okay, and to quote the comedian Chris Rock, he said, nobody hates black people more than black people. Okay, and we know we're not black. That's a byword. Okay, but nobody hates niggers more than niggers. Nobody hates the nigger woman more than the nigger woman. And this is Nicki Minaj. I believe she's Trinidadian. She would be the tribe of Benjamin, as well as Cardi B. She is Dominican. She would be the tribe of Simeon. These women both from New York, okay? And we got the women of the tribes just having a complete all-out war. And then you got other female rappers being brought into this too. What's her name? Ice Spice. I believe she's another Simeonite, so-called Dominican. The rapper Lotto. Okay, the rapper from City Girls, JT, I'm not sure, she's from Miami. She could be a Levite. She could be a so-called Haitian, whatever. You got the women of the tribes having an all-out Twitter war for the whole world to see. And you look at the men's reaction to this level of beef. They were saying, there's like, damn, you bitches is ruthless, okay? Which shows you, going back to this, Sirach 25 verse 19, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Okay, and man, our people under the curses of having an evil eye toward each other. And Esau Edom, the slave master, so-called white man, he forwards that affliction. He dangles the little carrot and fruit in front of our people and makes them dance for it. It makes us, crabs in a bucket, shoot and kill each other and fight each other to the death for the whole world's entertainment, so he can get richer and richer off our people having a beef. Esau loves to see our people have beef. And what was dangerous about this is it's women, it's mothers of our nation having a complete beef. Here it is, Cardi B, she's pregnant with a 4th child, and her and Nicki, they talking about pull up, we gonna fight right now. We gonna pull up right now. This is crazy. But once again, it shows you the curses. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 1 through about 15 tells us the blessings if we followed our heavenly Father Yahweh, okay, his laws, statutes, and commandments. Verse 16 on down shows us the curses, and our people fit them curses like a glove. This is Deuteronomy 28 verse 56, and once again, there's no J in Hebrew. Okay, so ain't nobody called our Lord Jesus 2,000 years ago. There's no J in Hebrew, okay, and that's an idol. His real name, Yahweh Shai, the deliverer, okay, the redeemer in the Paleo Hebrew. And we're praying sincerely we get delivered, because we know 2/3 of our people are gonna, not hear the word. They're gonna forbear it, okay, and get destroyed on this side. We're praying we're not of that number, and we get to see the downfall of Babylon the Great, America, the chief place of our captivity, and enter a kingdom of righteousness where our women ain't got they plastic ass and titties, excuse the rude speech, all out in the open for the whole world to see, beefing with each other like some zoo animals, okay? This is the madness we got in the land of our captivity, where we tired of this place, man. We want to be in a kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness. And we know Esau, Edom, so-called WHITE, man, the earth was given into his hands, pursuant to Job 9 verse 24. He's the end of the world. But Jacob, the people right here on this sign, is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, we're gonna have a kingdom on earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, and this madness does not exist. But let's go to these curses we're currently under, us being yet this day in our captivity. Deuteronomy 28 verse 54 and 56. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. And we see that curse heavy on the tribe of Judah, okay, growing up in these so-called blacks, so-called Negroes, growing up in these single mother, fatherless homes. That's a curse. You're not supposed to be growing up without your daddy. The dad is the head of the woman. He's the head of the household. So you got our people raising these jungle of a cities, these concrete jungles without the head of the home, okay? The women and children walking around without their head for a machine like this to raise them, okay? So of course they're gonna be emotional and disrespectful and out of pocket. This is what Esau, Edom, furthered that affliction on us. Verse 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Okay, and this little, Twitter war between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj is these women having a complete evil eye toward each other, okay? This is, you reading these tweets, nothing more than shameless, ratchet, female niggerdom, okay? And a straight evil eye amongst each other. They talking about each other's children. It was crazy, man. But you look at their countenance, you look at their face, and this is what you get when you sell your soul to the devil. The scriptures, speak on not giving women liberty to gad abroad. We can see why, okay? Okay, so we got all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. There's another one that matches up in Sirach. This is the 42nd chapter. The scriptures speak on as a man not sitting, not sitting in the midst of women, because, you're going to hear something wicked, man. This is Sirach 42, verse 13. For from garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness. And all the men, I seen, just briefly doing research, reacting to these tweets was like, damn, this shit is some crazy shit. If men talk like this to each other, bullets is flying, man. Some level of violence is going out, because this is just next level of disrespect, okay? And these are two of the biggest rappers to come out of New York, like since 50 Cent, the last 20 years. And you got future mothers, future grandmothers, future aunties looking up to these harlots, man, okay? This shows you, our people have, this man Esau has completely destroyed our women. And look at their countenance, man. Look at their face. This is what happens when you got to make sacrifices, quote unquote, to get in this industry, and you end up losing your damn mind. Look at Lil' Kim. She was the OG of that, and she ended up getting all these damn surgeries, okay? And now she just looks like a glob of plastic. She looks crazy out here. This is what happens when you give these women liberty to gad abroad. And look at their face. You can see it in their face. Ecclesiasticus 25 verse 17. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. And these women all got the same demonic, glazed over, look, a glazed over glare. That's that wickedness, okay? It's just evil. Got that. This is why, early on in the days of Babylon the Great, they would have a witch hunt. Any woman, that showed the characteristics of a witch, they put her as to death, okay? And the scriptures say, a witch is supposed to be set on fire. This is why, okay? The Bible is hard on whoredom and harlotry, because when you mass produce this, it's going to be nothing. Matter of fact, let me get that. I believe that's Leviticus You know, the 19th chapter speaking on, you know, whoredom and tattoos. This is why you're not supposed to allow any type of whoredom. Leviticus 19 verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. And you got these little Ice Spices, Cardi B's, Nicki Minaj, Lottos, JT's, all these little harlot rappers. This is just mass producing whoredom and wickedness. You can't wife a bitch up like this. This is crazy. These women got, you know, multiple partners. This shows you the curses our people are under. You don't see this with the women of these other nations. And let's, you know, Lord willing, this be edifying. It just is what it is. We are still yet this day in our captivity. This is Sirach 26 verse 9 and 10. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. That's why you see these women with, I forgot to mention Glorilla. You got to mention her too. Big Glow. All these big ass eyelashes, these cumbrellas. You know, excuse the rude speech. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. And that's what happens. Okay, Esau, he's got a conveyor belt of these harlot female rappers where they all got the same look. All got, you know, the fake hair, the eyelashes, and you know, some ass shots. They all got some type of surgeries and body enhancements. That's them having liberty to destroy them damn selves. And once again, look at the OG of these, you know, degenerate harlot rappers, Lil' Kim. She don't look anything like how she used to look. Okay, that's her envying the oppressor. The scriptures speak to not envy the oppressor. Okay, and not envy the glory of a sinner, because you ain't gonna know how their end is. Eve envies, you know, the oppressor. She want to be like Esau, Edom. Going back to the serpent in Eve in the garden. She done drank that cup of this man's philosophies, and these are the fruits of it to come. And this ain't even about the Judite woman today. You know, this is a, you know, beef between a Benjamite and a Simeonite. Show you, you know, these are the tribes. Ecclesiasticus 42 verse 11. Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter, lest she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies, and a byword in the city, and a reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude. And reading these women's tweets, you know, I don't even know how many followers combined Nicki Minaj and Cardi B got on Twitter, but this was embarrassing, man. Completely embarrassing. Here it is. I'm listening to a radio that got nothing to do with this, and they brought up, you know, the beef between these women. This is embarrassing for the whole, all the tribes. You got all these other nations looking at our people like a bunch of zoo animals. Okay, uncivilized zoo animals. Okay, this is, you know, the curses. And Esau, he loves that. He loves seeing our people in a state of enmity, in a state of continual, perpetual beef. And he starts that by taking the fathers out the home. This is the last, you know, prophecy I will get on the state of our women in this land of captivity, Babylon the Great. This is going to be Amos 7 verse 17. And this hits it right on the nail. Therefore, thus said the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. And America is the most polluted of all polluted lands. The philosophies, the food, the women, the music. Listen to the lyrics of these women. Everything here is completely wicked, overtly wicked, and polluted. All right. And there's a quote that says, you can tell the condition of a nation by looking at its women. That's how you know the nation of Israel is through. But Thawadi Yahweh Yahushai, he's going to restore a remnant, okay, 1/3 of his people to come back to, you know, remembrance of who we are. And Lord willing, we receive mercy in these last days and get salvation out of this hell. Because we don't want to live here, okay, where our women are, you know, walking around with they plastic ass all out, you know, talking crazy. You listen to these women's lyrics, it's madness. Okay, this shows you we're in the end of Esau's kingdom. okay, where people are going to be super narcissistic, have no natural affection, all on social media staring at themselves. You see this. You work at I used to do club security, and these women be be at the club just staring at themselves on the phone. This is what you got in these last days, but this is a telltale sign of Esau's world coming to an end. 2 Timothy 3 at the top. Know this also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. And this is what we see, these women, this was real fierce, the level of poison and hatred they were saying toward each other, and towards each other's children, showing, our people have an evil eye toward each other. This is why we're sincerely praying that the Lord, restores us in the kingdom to come, where we don't got to walk around, worrying about our women, our wife sleeping with the next man, and, children growing up to shoot each other in the streets. Meanwhile, Edom gets richer, and the rest of these nations get richer off our people's blood, sweat, tears, suffering, and misery. This is, we are still yet this day in our captivity. And if the women of the tribes is behaving this violent and masculine, imagine how much more dangerous with the men, being raised by these women. Another example, but, this was an embarrassment. It is what it is. I hope this was edifying. Shalom.